Alright, welcome back to an episode of the Guys Book Club about the Book Club. Yeah. And today, guys, we're an extremely special episode because today, guys, we're on episode number 357. So let's go. And yay. Oh, the miscreant dream where I can move a thing. My brain. You are my everything. Now I'm listening to the song. I told you I'm going to be a DJ in a summer, in a morning party. I need a nice vibe song. Lucid Dreams. Some kind of remix. Yeah. Really great song. The pretty ass face. Yo. Hey, and it's getting ready, guys. It's getting ready. It's a special freestyle. Special episode 400 episodes. Getting really soon, guys. Yo, I'm ready for the freestyle. Make my heart break. Hey. Hey. Hey, gay. Hey. So guys, if you're in the channel, welcome, and if you're already familiar with the channel, welcome back. My name is Zach and I'm the host. And on this podcast, guys, we're working together on our English speaking level, and on the communication skill to stay in front of the camera and to communicate with the camera. And doing so because it's truly very English. The number one tool that teach one of us must require not to be successful in life. And the second tool that is going to help us is to not communicate from the camera. And if you take those two skills and you can combine them together, you can create great content on the internet and you can influence billions of people all around the world. So it's time to comment to all those skills. And guys, I hope that by sharing with you guys my journey, my ups and downs, my failures, my success, I overcome them. The lessons that I learned during the process of podcasting 5 extremely exciting of podcast of uploading and podcasting 5 extremely exciting episodes per week. I inspire the people like you, the ladies and gentlemen, that about you did podcast to also work on the dreams or work on English and share with them the world. Inspire the world to make a difference because you are better. You are mad there. Taylor Swift, you need to calm down. Yo. So guys, today we got this dragon flying by. They say, AK, we want to come to podcast. We give so much responsibility to all of us. We go from a little lizard to a big dragon. We have to support and our love and appreciation to a book club. So they came. So guys, say to my dragon friends. And if you want to check them out, guys, you never can find them on 3, 2, 1, kabam! Ah! You need to calm down. Let's see. Damn, yeah, and this is and these are Grand Apollo, and this Grand Apollo good for bananas, then Cisco 1701. And it's uploaded on June 2020, and it's downloaded only 6,457 times, guys. Almost like the episodes that there's a billion episodes that we got on the channel. And you see, I did a little warm up the colors of the picture because I think it's more. I just like it better. And guys, of course, we like the picture because it's a nice picture, and we want to show appreciation to the artist when this is background. And guys, if you want to download pictures, just need to choose the resolution from here. Press download. Right, click on the picture and go to Shmirat B'Shem in Hebrew and save picture as in English. And type down a comment below. I want it in language, and all of us need to go from all around the world. It will be a really nice game. Click on it, Shmirat B'Shem, save picture as. Choose the one to save it on a computer. Press save and comment just like that. You will get this grand background on the computer. So thank you very much, guys, for the artist to win this grand background, and thank you very much for Cisco 1701 for sharing this grand background with us. Yo. Yeah. Go. Hey. And today, guys, we'll continue our journey with Influence of Psychology of Persuasion by Robert D. Kalanidi. Even a great book, and I learned on each episode every time. Learn something from on each episode. It's crazy. And guys, if you want to check out this account, or if you want to check out the book, influence the book, and don't click the social media accounts, you got everything in the description below. So make sure to check them out, like them, and learn from them, guys. You guys, if anyone of you, if any suggestion for me, I can put myself on the podcast. So if anyone of you want to come to the podcast, big guys to the podcast, she be a guest on the podcast, show them the point, inspire the world, make a difference because we over here, I have a good time with me. In English, guys, you know, I'm really nice in English. Please let me know in the comment section below so we can arrange it. I'm tired. And guys, of course, you're always welcome. As always, you're always welcome. If you didn't start from the channel, maybe something else, or maybe something nice quote from the book, or maybe you have your own lessons reading from someone else. And on the board, guys, you're welcome to share all your wisdom with us in the share your wisdom. You follow the community in the comment section below, so us can enrich our life and improve ourselves thanks to your wisdom. So guys, thank you very much. Advice for you guys before we move to the book. If you enjoyed the process, if you like the video, if you're not subscribed to the channel, please consider to share and support by liking the video, sharing with friends, subscribe to the channel, and put the notification bell, ding, so you don't forget it, ding, 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 ding. Only chance it's extremely starting episode on coming, we know it's going to be 5 extremely starting episodes per week. And there's 400 special, freestyle special are coming really soon, guys. Right in every week. You want to hear me freestyle again? Hey, hey, yo, hey, hey, yeah, it's your boy. It's your boy. Yay. Tea, my official drink. I need to turn the music on off because to get back to my music because it's now 23:31 in the evening and I'm a little bit tired. So I need to move back to the channel, to the Oceans United Edison United Lofi Remix 1 hour. You got the link in the description below. So enjoy from the music. And guys, today it's Monday, 16th of May 2022, and the time now it's set, and the time now it's as I told you, 23:31, which means that I don't know today if I'm not sure that I'm going to be able to. I'm not sure that we are going to be ready on time to upload this episode on today. Maybe we need to. It's going to be in this after I finish the podcast, but it might be on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, 17. So my bad. I didn't manage my time well. Yeah, but it is what it is, guys. It is what it is. We keep going. So, guys, the sub count of the channel is 2. We got 2 subscribers. So shout out to you guys. Shout out to you. We are getting strong each day. Shout out to you guys. We are total views 373 episode total views of the channel, and the current episodes that are going to be released today is this episode 357. Excuse me, guys. Before I any more introduction, let's just dive right into the book. So, if there's a problem with persuasion, the psychology of persuasion, page 141 to 145, and the 155 in the book, and the 41 it's in the PDF. One 41 to 145. Maybe the legend about the name himself. Give me some, please. Give me some, John, please. Some boy, yeah. So let's go. And we get in a little back to 140. It's a little paragraph. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's 7 sentence lines. So yeah. Title: Similarity. So I think it's better for us to just remember what we learned, what we read in the previous episode. Similarity. But what if physicality, but But what if physical appearance is not much at issue? After all, most people possess average looks. Are there other factors that can be used to produce liking? As both researchers and compliance professionals know, there are several, and one of the most influential is similarity. We like people who are similar to us. This fact seems to hold true, whether the similarity is in the area of our opinions, personality traits, background, or lifestyle. Consequently, those who wish to be liked in order to increase our compliance can accomplish that purpose by appearing similar to us in any of a wide variety of ways. Dress is a good example. Several studies have demonstrated that we are more likely to help those who dress like us. In one study, done in the early 1970s, when young people tended to dress either in hippie or straight fashion, experiments experimenters donned the hippie or straight attire and asked college students on campus for a dime to make a phone call. When the experimenter was dressed in the same way as the student, the request was granted in more than two-thirds of the instance. But when the student and the requester but when the student and requester were similarly dressed, the dime was provided less than half the time. Another experiment shows how automatic our positive response to similar others can be. Similar others can be. Marchers in an anti-war demonstration were found to be not only more likely to sign the petition of a similarly dressed requester, but also to do so without bothering to read it first. Click Vera. Another way requesters can manipulate similarity to increase liking and compliance is to claim that they have backgrounds and interests similar to ours. Car salesmen, for example, are trained to look for evidence of such things while examining the customer's trade-in. If there is a camping gear in the trunk, the salesman might mention later on how he loves to get away from the city whenever he can. If there are golf balls on the backseat, he might remark that he hopes the rain will hold off until he can play the 18 holes he has scheduled for later in the day. If you notice that the car was punched out of state, he might ask where the customer is from and report. Be surprised that he or his wife was born there too. די. As trivial as those similarities might seem, they appear to work. One researcher who examined the sales records of insurance companies found that customers were more likely to buy insurance when the salesperson was like them in such areas as age, religion, politics, and cigarette smoking habits. Because even small similarities can be effective in producing a positive response to another, and because a winner, VENEER, of similarity can be so easily manufactured, I would advise special caution in the presence of requesters who claim to be just like you. Indeed, it would be wise those days to be careful around the salespeople who just seem to be just like you. Many sales training programs now use trainees to mirror and match the customer's body posture, mood, and verbal style. Similarities along each of those dimensions have been shown to lead to positive results. Title: Compliments. Hector McLean Stevenson once described how his wife tricked him into marriage. She said she liked me. She liked me. Although designed for a laugh, the remark is as much instructive as humorous. The information is that someone who fancies us can be beautifully effective advice for producing a return lacking and willing compliance. So, often in terms of flattery or simple claims of affinity, the positive estimation from people who want something from us. Remember Joe Gilliard, the world's greatest car salesman, who says the secret of his success was getting customers to like him? He did something that, on the face of it, seems foolish and costly. Each month, he sent every one of his more than 13,000 former customers a holiday greeting card containing a personal message. The holiday greeting changed from month to month, Happy New Year or Happy Thanksgiving, etc. But the message printed on the face of the card never varied. It read, I like you. And Joe explained it. There is nothing else on the card, nothing but my name. I'm just telling them I like them. I'm just telling him I like him. I'm just telling him that I like him. I like you. I like you. It came in the mail every year, 12 times a year, like clockwork. I like you on a printed card that went off to 13,000 other people too. Could a statement of liking so personal, so obviously designed to sell cars, really work? Joe Girard thinks so. And the man, as successful as he was, and what he did deserved our attention. John understands an important fact about human nature. We are phenomenal suckers for flattery. Although there are limits to our gullibility, especially when we can be sure that the flatterer is trying to manipulate us. We tend, as a rule, to believe praise and to like those who provide it. Oftentimes, when it is clearly false. An experiment done on men in North Carolina shows how helpless we can be in the face of praise. The men in the study received comments about themselves from another person who needed a favor from them. Some of the men got only positive comments, some got only negative comments, and some got a mixture of good and bad. There were three interesting findings. First, the evaluator who provided only praise was liked best by the men. Second, this was a case even though the men fully realized that the flatterer stood to gain from their liking him. Finally, unlike the other types of comments, pure praise did not have to be accurate to work. Positive comments produced just as much liking for the flatterer when they were untrue as when they were true. Apparently, we have such an automatically positive reaction to compliments that we can fall victim to someone who uses them in an obvious attempt to win our favor. Click Veer. Click Veer. Click Veer. When seen in this light, the expense of printing and mailing well over 150,000 thousand I like you cards each year seems neither as foolish nor as costly as before. Title: Contact and Cooperation. For the most part, we like things that are familiar to us. To prove the point to yourself, try a little experiment. Excuse me. Get the negative of an old photograph that shows a front view of your face and have it developed into a pair of pictures. One that shows you as you actually look and one that shows a reserved image, so that the right and left side of your face are interchanged. Now decide which version of your face you like better and ask a good friend to make the choice too. If you are totally like a group of Milwaukee women on a whom this procedure was tried, you should notice something odd. Your friend will prefer the true print, but you will prefer the reverse image. Why? Because you both will be responding favorably to the more familiar face. Your friend to the one the world sees, and due to the transposed one you find in the mirror every day. Nice. Because of its effect on liking, familiarity plays a role in decisions about all sorts of things, including the politicals we elect. It appears that in an election booth, voters often choose a candidate merely because the name seems familiar. Familiar. In one controversial Ohio election a few years ago, a man given little chance of winning the state attorney general race swept to victory when, shortly before the election, he changed his name to Brown. He changed his name to Brown, a family name of much Ohio political tradition. How could such a thing happen? The answer lies partly in the unconscious ways that familiarity affects liking. Often we don't realize that our attitude toward something has been influenced by the number of times we have been exposed to it in the past. Again, often we don't realize that our attitude toward something has been influenced by the number of times we have been exposed to it in the past. For example, in one experiment, the faces of several individuals were flashed on a screen so quickly that later on, the subjects who were exposed to the faces in this manner couldn't recall having seen any of them before. Yet, the more frequently a person's face was flashed on the screen, the more the subjects come to like that person when they met in a subsequent interaction. And because greater liking leads to greater social influence, those subjects were also more persuaded by the opinion statements of the individuals whose face had appeared on the screen most frequently. On the basis of evidence that we are more favorable towards the things we have had contact with, some people have recommended a contact approach to improving rest relations. They argue that simply by providing individuals they argue that simply by providing individuals of a different ethnic background with more exposure to one another as equals, those individuals will naturally come to like each other better. However, when scientists have examined school integration, the area offering the single best test of the contact approach, they have discovered quite the opposite pattern. School desegregation desegregation, is more likely to increase prejudice between blacks and whites than to decrease it. Let's stay with the issue of school desegregation for a while. However, very in attention the proponents of interracial harmony for simple contact. The approach is unlikely to bear fruit because the argument on which it is based is terribly misinformed. First of all, the school setting is no melting pot where children interact as readily with members of other ethnic groups as they do with their own. Years after formal school integration, there is little social integration. The students club together ethnically, separating themselves from the most part from other groups. Second, even if there were much more interethnic interaction, research shows that becoming familiar with something through repeated contact doesn't necessarily cause greater liking. In fact, continued exposure to a person or object under unpleasant conditions such as frustration, conflict, or competition leads to less liking. And the typical American classroom fosters precisely those unpleasant conditions. Consider the illuminating report of a psychologist, Elliot Aronson, called in to consult with school authorities on problems in the Austin, Texas school. With schools authorities on problems in the Austin, Texas schools. A description of how he found education proceeding in the standard classroom could apply to nearly any public school in the United States. In general, here is how it works. It's a quote. That in general, here is how it works. The teacher stands in front of the class and asks a question. 6 to 10 children strain in their seats and wave their hands in the teacher's face, eager to be called on and show how smart they are. Several others sit quietly with eyes averted, trying to become invisible. When the teacher calls on one child, you see looks of disappointment and dismay on the faces of the eager students who missed a chance to get the teacher's approval. And you will see relief on the faces of the others who didn't know the answer. This game is fiercely competitive and the stakes are high because the kids are competing for the love and approval of one of the 2 or 3 most important people in the world. Further, this teaching process guarantees that the children will not learn to like and understand each other. Conjure up your own experience. If you know the right answer and the teacher called on someone else, you probably hope that he or she would make a mistake so that you would have a chance to display your knowledge. No, I think that I want if other people know the answer, it was them, be successful. I don't think that if you want to be successful, you need other people to fail. You just need to be better. But I don't wish other people to fail. I wish them to succeed. If you were called on and failed, or if you didn't even raise your hand to compete, you probably envied and resented your classmates. You knew the answer. You probably envied and resented your classmates who knew the answer. Children who fail in this system become jealous and resentful of the success, putting them down as teachers' pets, or even resorting to violence against them in the schoolyard. The successful students, for their part, often hold the unsuccessful children in contempt, calling them dumb or stupid. This competitive process does not encourage anyone to look benevolently and happily and happily upon his fellow students. Should we wonder then why was school desegregation, whether by enforced by buzzing, district reasoning, or school closures, so frequently produces increased rather than decreased prejudice. When you want children find the pleasant social and friendship context, and friendship contacts within their own ethnic boundaries and get repeated exposure to other groups only in the competitive cauldron of the classroom. We might expect as much. Are there available solutions to this problem? One possibility might be to end our attempt at school integration, but that hardly seems workable. Even were we to ignore the inevitable legal and constitutional changes and the disruptive societal wrangle such a retreat would provoke. There are solid reasons, even were we to ignore the inevitable legal and constitutional changes and the disruptive societal wrangle such a retreat would provoke. There are solid reasons for pursuing classroom integration. For instance, although white students' achievement levels remain steady, it is 10 times more likely that the academic performance of minority students will significantly increase rather than significantly decline after desegregation. We must be cautious in our approach to school desegregation, not to throw out the baby because it is sitting in some dirty bath water. The idea, of course, is to jettison just the water, leaving the baby shining from the bath. Right now, though, our baby is soaking in the swather of increased racial is, I don't know what its word is. Schwazzer is word in German. SCHMUTZWASSER. Of increased racial hostility. Fortunately, real hope for draining away that hostility is emerging from the research of education specialist into the concept of cooperative learning, because much of the prejudice from classroom desegregation seems to stem from increased exposure to outside group members as rival. Those educators have experimented with forms of learning in which cooperation rather than competition with classmates is central. Off to camp. To understand the logic of the cooperative approach, it helps to re-examine the fascinating 3 decades old research program of Turkish-born social scientist Muzaffer Sharif. Intrigued with the issue of intergroup intrigued with the issue of intergroup conflict. Sharif decided to investigate the process as it developed in boys' summer camps. Although the boys never realized that they were participants in an experiment, Sharif and his associates consistently engaged in artful manipulations of the camp's social environment to observe the effects on group relations. Guys, guess what? This is the end of the episode. And tomorrow we're going to get to know what happened with this research. Until then, guys, have a great time. Thank you for yourself and ready. And I can't see you all on tomorrow episode. Have a great time. Thank you for yourself and bye-bye. It's your boy AK. The rest of the mention, content creator full time. It's your boy AK. Excuse me. So guys, thank you very much for being with me. Today it's Monday, 16 on May 2022. Or 17 on May Thursday 2022, and time now it's 00:01. And I'm getting excited about the digital parties they have on the next Friday, in 1.5 weeks. And I really need to make the music that I need. But it's going to be savage because it's a different kind of a party. Just put a nice phone. It's not a nice party, just a nice party. And after that, we started the examining time, so we need to work hard. יום שני, ערב טוב יום שני, ה-16/5/2022, שלישי, ה-17/5/2022, וואי, חמישי כבר דעים. עוד אנחנו כבר כמעט 5 חודשים, שנה ו5 חודשים, דעים. שעה 12 בלילה, 12 דקות. תרגש שקראת המסיבה שלי שבוע הבא. יאללה, חבר'ה, הולך לישון כבר. שלקום מחר מוקדם להתאמן על די-ג'יי, להתראות חייב להתאמן עליו, להתראות.